Growing up in our middle-class neighborhood, life was modest but comfortable. My parents, Sarah and Tom, worked tirelessly to provide for our family's needs while teaching us the value of hard work and gratitude. However, as my younger brother Michael grew older, his desires grew more extravagant, and our family dynamic began to unravel. From a young age, Michael had a knack for getting what he wanted. At 6, he insisted on a pony, and Dad somehow made it happen, though it stretched our budget thin. By the time he was 10, Michael's wish list included expensive gadgets and designer clothes, items my parents struggled to afford but often managed to provide to avoid disappointing him. "Mom, Dad, I really need the latest gaming console. Everyone in my class has one," Michael would plead, eyes wide with expectation. Dad would exchange a worried glance with Mom. "Michael, we've been over this. It's not in our budget right now." "But I'll be the only one without it. You guys never get me anything," Michael would whine, his sense of entitlement growing. As Michael entered his teenage years, his demands only escalated. He wanted expensive vacations, exclusive memberships, and the latest technology. Mom and Dad, wanting to give him the best they could, often sacrificed their own comforts and savings to keep up with his requests. By the time Michael turned 16, his birthday wish list was beyond extravagant. Private jets, luxury vacations, and designer wardrobes. "Private jets, Michael. That's way beyond anything we can afford," Dad finally said, his voice tinged with frustration. "But Dad, I deserve it. All my friends go on trips like this. I can't be the only one left out," Michael argued stubbornly. Mom tried to intervene, her expression torn between wanting to fulfill Michael's wishes and the reality of their financial situation. "Sweetheart, we need to talk about what's realistic for us as a family." I watched as the strain on our family intensified. Mom took on extra shifts at work, and Dad picked up odd jobs to afford Michael's demands. Bills piled up and our savings dwindled. Still, Michael remained oblivious to the sacrifices being made on his behalf. The breaking point came one winter when our landlord raised the rent. Mom and Dad, already stretched thin from trying to meet Michael's demands, couldn't keep up. We were evicted from our home, forced to live out of our car until we could find a temporary shelter. "Mom, Dad, this has to stop," I finally said one evening, tears streaming down my face. "Michael's demands have cost us everything. We're homeless because of him." Mom and Dad exchanged pained looks, guilt written across their faces. "We didn't mean for this to happen, Emily," Dad said quietly, his voice cracking. "I know, Dad, but it's gone too far," I replied, my voice trembling with emotion. Unable to bear the dysfunction any longer, I made the heart-wrenching decision to distance myself from my family. It wasn't easy, but I knew I needed to prioritize my own well-being and mental health. I moved out, focusing on my studies and eventually building a successful career and family of my own. Over time, I found healing in setting boundaries and rediscovering my own sense of worth. While I maintained sporadic contact with Mom and Dad, our relationship remained strained. Michael, cocooned in his world of privilege, continued on his path, seemingly oblivious to the pain he had caused.